Now, this poem is an amazing poem that we have. We don't know the name of the writer, the author, because it's anonymous. Anonymous meaning we don't know the name of the person. Now, I'll be explaining, yeah, I'll be explaining a couple of paragraphs and then I will ask you questions related to that. All right. So if you have any doubts and things, you can definitely text me in on this account itself. Okay. Just give me a moment. Yeah. Okay. So before beginning with, what we are going to do in the topic, as a teenage years, okay, life must be very exhausting for you or very challenging, I could say for sure. Am I correct or not? Yes. Do you think teenage years are very difficult? Because your parents would disagree to this, and I'm very sure of it. सच्ची बात है कि नहीं? Your parents and teachers, most of them think that अरे क्या मतलब, the real challenges grow up and then you will understand what challenges really are. Correct? Yes. I know that's true. So, and teenagers are so many times misunderstood, I feel, because you are just figuring out who you are and then you're telling world who you are. So it's a very difficult place to be in. बहुत stress है, मुझे मालूम है बहुत stress है. ठीक है. And yeah, you basically trying to do a lot of things, juggle a lot of things at once, correct? And now, um uh, what should I say? I have read this in Anne Frank's. Okay, these are words by Anne Frank. Some of you may know her. She is a very famous, you know, young. She was a very famous young girl. Okay, who was stuck in a concentration camp at Germany. Correct. So it was her words, and I had read them long ago. So उसमें वो वही लिखा था that you know teenagers are difficult because there are so many things and nobody understand that the young years when you're young are actually more difficult than when you are all settled in your life supposedly. Okay, so midlife crisis hoti hai, but teenage years are the forming years of your life. Okay. Yeah. So when we talk about these things and the fact that you guys are misunderstood and that everybody right now would be only telling you that what you have to do is focus in your 10th standard because that is one very important year. मतलब सब कुछ वही मतलब everybody has surrounded conversations of studies and things with you and they're not ready to understand that you have something else apart from that, right? So everything is quite exhausting for you. Okay. And this is a poem by one such person, I believe, who is urging the elders and the nosy relatives and parents and teachers and every well wisher out there to please listen and only listen. Don't do anything. Don't tell me what to do because I hate that thing. Okay. What do you have to do? How can somebody help you? What do you think? How can somebody help you? By supporting you, by giving advice, by listening to you. Okay. When can somebody by listening, understanding. Okay. By giving us advice, वो तब होता है जब वो एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम सुनते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स कोई प्रॉब्लम सुनता समझने की ट्राई ही नहीं करता. Correct. And if you listen closely to your friends and to your parents, okay, anybody, you will understand what their problems are. By simply listening, you will understand. And a lot of times we don't do that, especially to our parents. Most ऐसा होता है ना that बहुत सारे बार the parents accuse you that whenever I talk to this person, he or she is busy engaged in her mobile or in his or her computer, games, whatever. But it has also been the reverse case of it. मुझे मेरी माँ को भी बोलना पड़ता है कि listen, hello, I'm talking to you. Please keep your mobile away for a couple of minutes. I'm talking to you. I don't want this to become a parents or a teachers bitching association. Okay. No, definitely not. My point is that we're not listening to each other enough. And by actually supporting, if you actually want to support, if you actually want to understand, what you only need to do is you only need to listen. The best thing that you can do for any person is to listen, is to give attention to the person whom you are with. And I genuinely mean that. Whether even if you're on phone, if you're talking to a friend on phone, be with that person. Be give your 100% of your attention. If you are talking to your mom or your dad or your sibling, please be with them. Listen to them. Don't look at your mobile phone. And I know that it works too well. Don't do that. And I'm urging you, I'm saying this very strongly and firmly. Attention is the very basic need of any relationship, without which it can't survive. And that is the very basic thing that we want also. All right. So uh, this author simply tells us to listen. Okay. So very quickly I'll share my screen and we will begin. Please listen. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, you have not done what I asked. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I should feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problem, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen. All I ask is that you listen. Don't talk or do, just hear me. Advice is cheap. 20 cents will get you both Dear Abby and Billy Graham in the same newspaper. And I can do for myself. I am not helpless. Maybe discouraged and faltering, but not helpless. When you do something for me that I can and need to do more for myself, you contribute to my fears and inadequacy. But when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, I stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. And when that's clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Irrational feelings make sense when we understand what's behind them. Perhaps that's why prayers work. Sometimes for some people, because God is mute and He doesn't give advice or try to fix things. God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. So please listen and just hear me all. And if I want to talk, sorry, and if you want to talk, wait a minute for your turn. and I will listen to you. Okay, let's begin. So, please listen. What is the difference between hear and listen? Listening is paying attention to what you're hearing. Hearing is simply voice going inside your ears and head. Most of the times you don't even register. Right now, when you're sitting in a room and listening to me, there are a lot of voices, sounds coming from your end, which you probably can hear, but you do not pay attention to those sounds. Correct? So that is the difference between hearing and listening. The author says that when I ask you to listen to me, when I've only asked you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, आप क्या करते हो? Most of the people they start giving advice. If I tell you that I have a very huge problem going on with my best friend and I don't know exactly what to do, I'm not sure, and I feel that I've betrayed her, or I feel that, I'm in a mess, this, that, okay. And you start giving me advice. Are you should do this now? Why are you not doing this? Kitna simple hai, jaake bol de. Arey, did I ask you to do that? I only need to vent out. Can you please, for once, only and only listen to me without giving me advice? Okay. So when I ask you to listen to me and you start giving me advice, you have not done what I asked in the first place. जो मैंने बोला वो तो किया ही नहीं, मेरी बात तो किसी ने सुनी ही नहीं. And yeah, there are times when we genuinely need advice, but for those times we must be vocal about them. We must ask the other person to tell what they think about the particular thing that we have asked or shared. Then if they offer solutions, then it's great. But in the first place, if that person doesn't listen to you, you are not satisfied. Okay, and that is the first thing that you want the other person to listen. When I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. A lot of times I can't speak for you guys, but when it comes to mental illnesses, okay, now the terms like depression, anxiety, all of these are very common. People are using words, a very serious disease and a condition, like adjectives. Oh, I'm feeling very depressed. नहीं, depression ऐसे feel नहीं हो सकता. Okay, it's not a very baby term that you use for sadness. That's wrong, that's incorrect. Okay, so it's a medical condition. Okay, तो आप चलते चलते ये तो नहीं बोल सकते ना कि अरे आई एम फीलिंग अ लिटिल टाइफॉइड टुडे, आई फील अ लिटिल कैंसरस टुडे. ऐसा कोई बोलता है क्या? हाँ, नहीं बोलते ना, तो ऐसा भी नहीं बोल सकते, अरे आई एम फीलिंग अ लिटिल डिप्रेस्ड टुडे. Yes, you can be anxious. Yeah, anxious is an adjective that you can use. You can be very sad, very unhappy, guaranteed. We are all humans. We are going through our ups and downs, and yeah, we feel very sad and unhappy and anxious, worried at times. But when there is some person who's telling you that they are feeling a particular way and you think अरे इसमें क्या sad होना, पागल. हाँ, मेरी चाची को देखा, इससे कितना ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम उसने फेस किया. हाँ तो what do you mean? So my problems are not valid, my problems are not worth it? What do you mean? Okay, so whenever somebody is telling you their story of struggle, please don't come up with another story जिसमें और ज्यादा स्ट्रगल है. बेसिकली आप वो बताना चाहते हो कि सामने वाले को कि अरे इतना स्ट्रगल कहाँ किया है तूने, सुसाइड थोड़ी किया है आपने, अरे ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. ऐसा नहीं होता. ओके, so when I ask you to listen to me and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, अरे इसमें ऐसा थोड़ी फील करते हैं. अरे ठीक है ना, अभी तुमने डांट लिया ना तो ठीक है ना, ये तो रोज होता है, मेरे को कितना डांट, मेरे को तो मारा भी है, ठीक है ना, जस्ट फॉरगेट अबाउट इट. हाँ, होती है लाइफ में ऐसी. व्हाट? What is the big deal about it? No. You are trampling on my feelings. You're hurting my feeling. You are crushing my feelings. Okay, whenever somebody tells you something in return which is absolutely uh, baseless to what you have asked, you are basically not doing the job. You're not being a true friend. And there's a very famous maxim that we all must have heard. If you want to have a friend, okay, if you want one friend, first of all, you have to be one friend. So rather than me telling you that I will listen to you, first of all, na, I would ask you to listen to them. Genuinely listen to them when they are speaking to you. And if you're on your phone, or if you're doing something that you're doing, concentrating on a particular thing, tell them to wait for a couple of minutes. But when you are listening to them, genuinely listen to them, and maybe they will learn from you. They will learn to listen to you genuinely. Okay, so guys, do you have any doubts till here? Any doubts till here? All right, I hope you have understood whatever we have done now. Thank you so much if it is relatable to you guys. All right, we will move ahead. Third stanza: when I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problem, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. ओके, कोई कुछ तकलीफ बोलता है, प्रॉब्लम बोलता है, एंड यू आर टेलिंग समथिंग दैट इज वेरी पर्सनल टू यू, and not everyone can share easily with people. Okay, some people can take years to express themselves, and very fortunately we are aware of those problems now. Okay, so whatever the problem is, irrespective of that, if you are telling something to somebody and that person feels that he or she has to do something to solve your problem, that person is wrong. And so are you if you are in that person's position. Okay, if a friend is coming to you for comfort, for a very basic thing like that, okay, and आपको ऐसा कुछ लगता है, अरे what can I do to solve this problem? Don't do anything. That person is perfectly capable of doing his or her own thing, of dealing with that problem. Okay, so don't do that unless that person has asked you to do that. Okay, and what happens is that person, you have failed that person. You don't have to do anything. The most and the least you can do is to be there, is to just to patiently listen to that person. You don't have to do much. You don't have to, genuinely. If you just sit there patiently, hold your friend while he or she is crying, that's enough. That's enough. Offer some kind words, that's more than enough. Okay, but genuinely listen. So when I ask you to listen to me and you feel you have to do something to solve my problem, you have failed me, strange as that may seem. Listen, all I ask is that you listen. अगर एक बात अगर मैं बोल रही हूँ तो वो है कि सुन. Only listen. Don't do anything. Just listen to me. Don't talk. Don't do anything. Don't talk, and genuinely don't tell me अरे how this is so simple. अरे ये हमारे मतलब क्या, इससे भी ज्यादा बड़ी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम से लोग लड़ते हैं. Please, okay, simply just hear me out. Okay, advice is cheap. अगर मुझे एडवाइस चाहिए तो एडवाइस बहुत ही चीप है. 20 cents will get you both Dear Abby and Billy Graham in the same newspaper. Now, what does this exactly mean? Okay, 20 cents, डॉलर का जो स्मॉलर डिनोमिनेटर है, जैसे रुपीस का पैसा होता है, वैसे ही डॉलर्स का सेंस होता है, ठीक है. सो 20 cents per newspaper, a newspaper during those days, I don't know now or not, it will cost you 20 cents, okay, 20 paise sort of. Now this stanza is in reference to the columns in the newspapers where people write about their problems, and columnist offers advice. See, if your local papers have it, we definitely do have it. To be particular, we have this Cyrus Brosha, and he offers relationship advice, okay, in Hindustan Times, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So if I want advice, I can simply write to that person. Okay, I can write to a sort of relationship advisor or whatever career advice that I want. I can contact such people. Advice is very very cheap. लोग इतना सस्ते में बांटते हैं ना, मतलब it is as if nothing. Okay. And when you look at all these guys at the chai tapri and everybody actually, what they talk about is advice. अरे यार ये ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, ऐसा थोड़ी होना चाहिए, ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा तो करना ही चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. So all we hear about is politics and cricket, you know. So yeah, basically meaning to say that advice is cheap. People offer advice free में. Okay. So he says that 20 cents, 20 paise will give you. Dear Abby and Billy Graham, both of these are very very famous newspaper columnists. Okay. So he quotes them and he says that if I have a problem, I'll contact them. I'll ask for advice from them. Okay. In the same newspaper, itna cheap hota hai advice. All right. So you don't need to give me advice unless you are asked to do so. What I only want is that you listen to me, you be there for me, because dear Abby and Billy Graham are not going to be there for me. If you want to become a true friend, if you really want someone, you can only listen to me. And I can do for myself. I am not helpless. मैं मेरे लिए चीजें कर सकती हूँ. I am so perfectly capable of handling my own things, handling whatever is going on in my life, whatever trouble I have. If I've scored low marks, if I have a trouble with my best friend, if I have any issue pertaining to me, I am perfectly capable of solving them. Okay, because we always underestimate how strong we are until there is no option but to be strong. There is no choice but to be strong. So we are strong. We will figure a way out. Everybody in this world will figure a way out. Okay, but also that you are not helpless. You do have help. अगर आपको हेल्प चाहिए तो हेल्प तो मिल ही जाएगी, डेफिनेटली मिल जाएगी. ओके, यू आर नॉट हेल्पलेस. इट्स नॉट दैट यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग एंड यू आर नॉट रेडी टू डू एनीथिंग. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. ओके, सो मे बी डिस्करेज्ड. वो बोलते हैं कि मे बी आई एम डिस्करेज्ड राइट नाउ, आई एम faltering, but I'm not helpless. Okay, helpless is बेचारा, अरे वो तो कुछ नहीं कर ऐसा तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. Discouraged is I don't have enough motivation and courage to do now. I am very underconfident and I think that I will make mess of things on my own. Maybe I think like that right now. I am faltering. I'm not steady. I am making a lot of mistakes. I'm very clumsy right now. So faltering. I'm falling on my ways. Okay, I have a lot of flaws and maybe I'm figuring it all out. Correct. But I am not helpless. I can help myself and I am perfectly capable of that. Everybody is perfectly capable of that. Okay. That does not mean, guys, one very very important thing, that does not mean that you don't need help in your life, that you wouldn't need help in your life. We all will need help, but when it is asked for, okay, when we ask for help, when we go to a career counselor, that is what we should do, right? Instead of a person just telling us, or a relative telling us, अरे साइंस में अच्छा मार्क्स आए ना, बायो ले लेना. It does not work that way. Okay, if I'm going to a career counselor, I expect him or her to be efficient enough to do things for me where uh, he can he or she can understand where my interests are and what my aptitude is and things like that. Okay, so I am not helpless. I am discouraged, underconfident, faltering, whatever adjectives that you want to use, but I'm not helpless. When you do something for me that I can do for myself and I need to do for myself, you contribute to my fear and inadequacy. Something that I am supposed to do, something that I should do, and I can do it. I need to do it. If I have a huge dispute with my best friend and I'm not able to confront her, all right, that is something that I need to do and I should do. Okay. But if you are doing that for me, if you are going and telling my best friend that, oh, she is, crying and oh my God, you guys need to patch up or something like that, you are adding to my fear. You are contributing to my fear. You are contributing the fact that I can't do anything by myself. I always need support. So, if there are any situations in your life where you think that you have to meddle, you have to come in between, I would really ask you not to. Okay? Because people can be on their own, people can do things on their own because everybody is really capable of things like that. So, when somebody does something for you that you can do for yourself and you have to do for yourself, it's a very basic thing. Okay, you are only contributing to their fears and their inadequacy, the fact that they feel that they are not enough. Okay, a lot of times people feel like that मैं कुछ भी करूंगी कुछ होने ही नहीं वाला, कुछ अच्छा नहीं होने ही वाला, right? Nothing good is going to happen. Okay, so you don't have to do that. You don't have to go complete their notes. You only have to support them. They are they will be able to do things on their own. You don't have to go and do things for them. Moving on. But when you accept as a simple fact that I feel what I feel, no matter how irrational, then I stop trying to convince you and get about this business of understanding what's behind this irrational feeling. सबसे पहले, when you accept a very simple fact that I feel what I feel. Okay, a lot of times when your friends, okay, they ask you for something or they're sharing something with you, you tend to say, अरे यार इसमें क्या है इतना रोना, पागल हो गई है क्या, इसमें क्या इतनी बड़ी बात है यार, come on, don't cry. We have used these phrases quite often. Okay, very very frequently too. So you first of all have to accept that whatever this person feels, he or she is genuinely feeling it, and you have to accept that. इसमें कोई ऐसा बोलना नहीं है सामने कि अरे इसमें इतना क्या फील करना, अरे इसको तो जाने दे, बिग डील होता है, लाइफ है. Okay, you have to accept that whatever you feel, or whatever the other person is feeling right now, he or she is feeling that right now. Okay, so when somebody accepts as a simple fact that what I feel is what I feel, okay, no matter how irrational, कितना भी irrational क्यों ना हो, irrational is completely illogical, unreasonable, आपके हिसाब से unreasonable. Now there will be a person uh, for whom going to a party or getting invited to a particular gang or a particular party, I mean, is very very important. And for me, it is not. It is like absolutely trivial. Okay, and if I go and tell that, अरे यार बिग डील, पार्टी में नहीं बुलाया तो जाना, उसमें क्या इतनी बड़ी बात हो गई, that is wrong. So I have to accept, even though I don't understand, I have to accept the fact that okay, he or she is feeling sad about him or her not being able to go to the party. Okay, so when you accept that, then I can stop trying to convince you. अरे नहीं, मुझे एक्चुअली ऐसा फील हो रहा है, आई नो मे बी शायद थोड़ा इरेशनल है, थोड़ा अनरीजनेबल है, बट मैं बहुत ही ज्यादा सैड फील कर रही हूँ अबाउट नॉट गोइंग टू पर्टिकुलर पार्टी. Then this person, okay, will get about this business of understanding what is behind that irrational feeling. Why is she really feeling very sad about not being invited to the party? What is actually bothering her? बुलाना नहीं है पार्टी में, वो तो बहुत छोटी बात है, उसके पीछे बहुत सारी रीजन है. मे बी शी और ही फील्स दैट ही, मतलब दैट पर्सन इज नॉट adequate enough, he or she is not popular enough, whatever their reason. ओके, तो ये जो ऊपर की बात एक बार स्क्रैप करने में आए ना, फिर अंदर की बात समझ आती है. एंड व्हेन यू stop convincing people around you what's actually going on, then you can actually understand the irrational feeling, the feeling that is actually troubling you. Your fears and your insecurities will come to surface if you actually think about that, if you introspect. Okay, guys, do you have any doubts till here? Any doubts till here? Inadequacy is not being enough, not enough, not adequate. All right. Faltering is, it is usually a term that we use when we miss some steps while walking. So faltering, okay, falling, sort of falling down, but not really falling down. Okay, guys, anxieties are not normal. Being anxious is normal. We are all anxious. Okay, so many of you must have thought कि स्कूल में बैठे बैठे अरे पंखा अगर हमारे ऊपर गिर गया तो. It's a common thought, right? People have, right? अरे ऐसा हुआ तो. हाँ. So that thought for some people, it it passes, because we understand that it's actually not going to happen, or the odds of that them happening are like point 0.0001%, something like that. Okay, we understand that it's not really possible, but for some people that fear stays. Okay, irrational is the opposite of rational, so illogical or unreasonable. Okay. Okay. So we'll very quickly begin again. Continue, I mean. Okay. And when that's clear, the answers are obvious and I don't need advice. Okay. So when you understand, guys, that me not being able to go to the party is actually the reason for that, is that I don't feel I belong to them, or I don't you know uh, feel that I am good enough for the popular gang of the school or something like that, anything like that. Okay, so when you understand the reason behind things, reason of your feelings, reasons to whatever is happening, why are you feeling so sad or so unhappy, or so anxious. Okay, so when that is clear, when you have the answers to that, the answers are obvious. अभी आपको समझ जाए कि आपको इतना बुरा क्यों लगता है. The answers are obvious, and then nobody needs advice. Now the answers are there. Why would I need advice? I know what to do now. Correct? So when the answers are clear, when the reason is clear behind all the irrational feelings and whatever you're feeling, then you don't need advice. Irrational feelings, very unreasonable feelings. Okay, at times we think that I will not be able to do anything in my life. because I failed a test. Oh my god. A lot of people think like that, correct? It's not. Just because you don't score well in your examinations, or uh, you failed a particular test, that does not mean कि आप life में कुछ नहीं कर सकते. आप life में बहुत कुछ कर सकते हो. तो all these irrational feelings, feelings that don't have enough truth to it. Obviously our feelings are true, but they're not always right, correct? So irrational feelings make sense when we understand what is behind them. irrational feelings का सेंस तभी बनता है जब हमको समझता है कि उसके पीछे क्या रीजंस हो सकते हैं. What are the reasons behind those things? So when we understand what is actually going on, what we actually feel, what are we actually afraid of, okay, that is the time these all irrational feelings, they start making sense to us, and we begin understanding them very properly. Perhaps that's why prayers work sometimes for some people. इसीलिए बहुत सारी बार prayers काम करती है for a lot of people, because God is mute and he doesn't give advice or try to fix things. वो, when you pray, what are you actually doing? You are lifting off a very heavy weight that you have been carrying on your shoulder, and you're just keeping it down for a moment. So when you keep that down, does the problem solve itself? Does somebody tell you what to do with the problem? Does God come and tell you how to solve that problem? Definitely none of these happen. What happens is you get somebody to listen to yourself. You get somebody to understand you, perhaps. And that is why this author says that बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए इसीलिए प्रेयर्स वर्क करती है, बिकॉज गॉड इज म्यूट. ही विल नॉट गिव यू एडवाइस, ही विल नॉट ट्राई टू फिक्स थिंग्स फॉर यू, ही विल नॉट ट्राई टू डू थिंग्स फॉर यू. ओके, God just listens and lets you work it out for yourself. He only listens and then you work it out for yourself, because you're a lot calmer then you went, okay, because you kept the weight, you know aside for a little time. You again have the energy to lift it back up and walk, because you have rested. You have you have made yourself a little calmer than you were. All right, so please listen and just hear me. Okay, so the most that you can do for me and the least that you can do for me is please only listen. Just listen. Don't do anything else. Don't give me advice. Don't do anything. Okay, I will deal it on my own, but just listen to me. And if you want to talk, which everyone would want to, okay, including me, if I'm telling you right now, and if I'm preaching you कि अरे सुनना चाहिए, but obvious है, बहुत ही natural human instinct होता है सामने बोलना कि everything will be okay, it's okay to feel this way, whatever you want to say. Wait a minute for your turn and I will listen to you. Wait for it. Wait for the other person to tell everything. Take enough pauses, you know, and take it very slow. There's no need to rush. Let the other person, give them enough space, give them enough security, make it safe for them so that they can come and tell you things that they can't go and tell it to anybody else. Okay, so please wait for your turn, then speak. Okay, and then this person he will listen to you. So as I told you, it should and it does work both ways. If you want others to listen to you, the first step in doing so is to listen to others, and then maybe others will definitely listen to you. All right, so irrational is illogical without any reason or base. Okay, do you have any doubts here, guys? Here we complete the poem. Do you have any doubts? What exactly we should do when someone is crying? Okay, somebody asked me this question. I will ask you one thing. If you are crying, okay, everybody, I'm asking this to everybody. If you are crying, what do you want somebody to do to you? Let that be your parent or a friend or a sibling. What do you want them to do for you? If you're crying, if you're really crying, you're sobbing, what do you want your parents to do? And genuinely, don't say, oh, please listen. No, genuinely, what do you think? Calm you down, help, give me time. Very good. Comfort me and listen to my burden. We want them to listen to us. Just hug it out. Superb. Leave me alone. I'm with you guys. Stop me from crying. Give you hope. Comfort you. Listen to you. Sometimes you want to be left alone, or sometimes you want comfort. You are always confused. Yes. To make you understand something, speak positive to you, give you hope and encourage you. Yeah, so a lot give you solutions to not disturb you and not talk about that topic. Exactly. Exactly. So here when we speak now, that everybody, guys, no, now the answers are in front of us, right? The answers are in front of us. For somebody, it is stop with your answers. Now, for somebody, it is please hope me and encourage me. Please tell me some positive words because I need to hear them. For some, it is leave me alone. Like literally, leave me alone. Let me cry it out. Let me do things for myself. Don't come in between. I will come to you, but don't come to me. Okay, somebody would want hug, somebody would want the other person to leave the room and go. Okay, basically what I'm trying to tell you is everybody has a way of functioning. Everybody have their own specific ways of dealing with things in their lives, correct? But what you can actually do is that understand what that other person wants. Okay, let no genuinely, if I've learned something in my life, I would really like to share it with you guys. Give the other person space, give them enough comfort, and if somebody tells you to leave the room, please do leave the room. Okay, and they won't speak it on your face at times that come hug me, come encourage me, come support me. Okay, somebody will not be able to be so frank with you, correct? But you can be their cushion. You can make them believe that no matter what, you can come to me whenever you are comfortable. That it's okay right now. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be calm. And I'm here. I will listen to you. Take your time. There is no worry. I will not hold this against you. But I will be always there for you. Whatever, whenever you want, I'm here for you. Okay, and eventually people will come around when they want time, and when they want to speak, or you know alone time के बाद लोग आते हैं. They come around and then they will tell, because somebody has trusted us enough कि हाँ, if I go to this person is still available. Now I have always you know made it so for people, that whenever I personally am in trouble, I don't like to talk to people, and I maintain this distance. But eventually I know there are a bunch of my friends that would listen to me no matter what, and then they would give advice. Okay, but they will ask before giving the advice, and they will ask, do you really want to know what I want to say? And when I say yes, they tell me what they really want. Okay, so for any lasting relationship of yours, okay, with your parents and siblings and your friends, what you actually need to do is be there. Just be there for anybody, okay, and then everything will eventually work out. 20 cents, as I had told you, 20 cents meaning 20 paise. Cent, cent, cent is a lower denomination of dollar. Okay, it is a denomination of money, pesa. All right. So we complete the poem here. I hope you guys have understood. We can do one thing. Let us discuss the textual question answers. We have done the first one. The second one. How old is the speaker in the poem? How old is the speaker in the poem? What do you guys think? Teenage, yes. So around, we can assume, huh? We can assume. We don't know the age. Nowhere it has been mentioned. Yes. So you can write the author of this poem seems to be a young teenager. You cannot write you cannot write that. Okay? Seems to be a young teenager. No need to write years. A young adult or a young teenager, anything. So you have kept your bracket wide open. Correct? Next. Whom is a he or she talking to? किसके लिए ये पोम लिखी गई है? For everyone other that person, yes. For dear and near ones, for the well wishers. Correct? Yes, very good. So it is for every friend, parent, or teacher, or a well wisher in the author's life, and he wants to tell them this thing. Okay, and therefore, yes, written it down in a very conversational and informal tone. The poem had an informal tone, right? It was very conversational, very normal. Okay, next. What must have happened before the speaker says all this? What do you think must have happened with this person? What do you think, guys? Very good. He or she would have had a chance to explain themselves, to express what they felt, but nobody would have listened to them. Everybody would have thought of giving an advice, or doing something for them, or being, doing something, but nobody just listened to them. Correct? Yeah, so he or she must have gone, the speaker must have gone through various problems or challenges, and when this person tried to tell somebody, nobody listened to him. Correct? Very good. Next question. Is the speaker aware of his shortcomings? Is the speaker aware? Does the speaker know that he has some faults in himself too? That he is not perfect, he is not always right. Yes, yes, he is aware. Because he says, na, कि I'm discouraged, I'm faltering. Yes, so he is aware of the shortcomings. Does he or she want to improve? Yes, he wants to improve, but on his own. When he says that irrational feelings, they make sense when we understand what's behind them. And, you know, I want to understand what is behind my irrational feelings. So, yes, he wants to improve himself. Very good. Is she confident that she can improve? Yes. Yes, that person is confident that he'll be able to improve. How does he want to work it out? Come on, guys, answer this question. How does he or she want to work it out? By their own. Very good. Is the poet willing to listen to others? Is the poet willing to listen to others? Yes, he definitely is willing to listen to others. The last line says, wait for your turn and I will listen. Correct? Yes. All right. So, here we finish our lecture and this poem. I hope all of you have understood this, and moreover, you have understood and you're taking back something much more bigger than the understanding of this poem. Okay, I hope this has something beneficial to offer to you in your coming years, and I hope I've been instrumental in giving you and I've done justice to this. All right. So, yes, I hope you deal with your problems. And I know that life is full of challenges, but I also know that everybody here is strong enough to do so. So, have a great day ahead. I wish you all the best. Thank you and have a great day. Bye. Take care and stay safe.